Hello, friend. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well and thriving. And I wanted to talk to you today about anxiety, high functional anxiety. Okay. As always, as a disclaimer, I am never here to talk about generalized anxiety disorder. That's not in my scope of practice. That's to be spoken with a psychologist, a psychiatrist, an MD. I'm here to talk about more the personality trait, the mental and emotional addiction of anxiety that might be present with every single high achiever out there. And why am I speaking about this? Because I can say I am in recovery phase, recovering from having suffered of high function anxiety, especially in the last 5 years owning a business. That's when I really, became aware that I had some anxiety. So let me first speak a little bit about what high function anxiety, and I'm going to separate high function anxiety in two categories here. Okay. So in this hand, I'm going to put the high function anxiety for that trait that a lot of successful high achievers, busy entrepreneurs, business owners have, and they are aware. And it's so bad that they actually take some medication to calm down the anxiety. So there's like this group of people, they're like, yes, I have it. I went to see a doctor and I take some Xanax or some other forms of benzos or prescribed pharmaceutical medication. Okay, there are those. I'm here to talk more about this group here, right here, not this one that is aware, is taking medication, is taking care of that. I'm talking about this group here. That's the group that I have belonged for years, and I'm recovered. And I think this is the group that a lot of us are, maybe you are. This is the group of us that do not, usually when we are in it, we do not recognize our anxiety. We don't see our state of like high energy, motivated, driven, positive. The glass is always half full. We're super optimistic. We don't see ourselves in the category of high function anxiety because all those other traits like drive, motivation, high energy, vitality, we work out hard, you know, or perfectionists can really help us. We see all those qualities as something very positive, and we get positive reinforcement and feedback from others and how great that is. We get glorified for the overdrive, for being so goal oriented, for being so energized, for being such an action taker. So in our culture, we get glorified for that, and whatever we get rewarded for, we repeat. So, based on that, the way our brain works, because when we get rewarded in a behavior, we'll repeat, and we repeat every day, it becomes a pattern. It becomes automatic. It becomes an addiction. We get addicted to being busy. We get addicted to always being doing. And even when you're just sitting and you think, okay, I'm not doing anything, I'm just being. But what is happening here? You are doing a lot in here. So, this high function anxiety that I want to talk about today is for those of us who don't realize, or I didn't realize, I was suffering in silence. And I didn't know until I got out of the business. I always say this: the fish doesn't know it's wet. That's kind of the same thing. When you have the anxiety, silence in you, you don't know you have it. You don't know you're stressed out. You don't know, like the fish, you don't know it's wet, right? So let me talk about a few traits of the high function anxiety. And it's not all bad, okay? It's just about balancing. Like anything needs to be in balance. Like if you have too much drive, too much erratic energy, too much motivation, so many goals. You operating in that very strong masculine energy, the fire, the doer. And if you're on fire all the time, it's going to lead to what? You already know the word: burn out. You're going to fry your adrenal glands because your body's producing so much cortisol, the stress hormone. And with that, you create imbalances in other systems in the body, like the thyroid, right? Or if you a woman try to have a baby, it might affect your ability to reproduction. So a lot of people can have a lot of issues related to this topic of high function anxiety, because high function anxiety is stress. A state of anxiety is a state of um, is a state of fear, and a state of fear is a state of survival. Therefore, your body is in a state of stress. You are in a fight or flight response. But because a lot of us in this group here on my right hand, a lot of us have all these other qualities, they kind of hide the anxiety because, again, you know being an athlete my whole life, not professional but amateur, athlete, motivated, driven, all those great qualities can cover up the anxiety that is brewing underneath. So I'm here just to create some awareness. So let's talk about some of the qualities. I already spoke some, but other qualities of a high function anxiety person. There are positives and negative qualities, right? Positive is a lot of drive, motivation, even though, again, those qualities can become negative if they are too much, if they're out of balance. If, for example, if you don't balance drive with just letting go, like you achieve something big here, are you able to just take some time off and just cruise for a while, not set any bigger goal? Are you able to do that? This will be the recovery phase. If you're super driven and you go out there and you do a 4-hour bike ride, that's the drive to work your body hard. Then you need the rest and recovery to balance those energies. So see that drive as more like the masculine energy, and see the resting and recovery as more like the feminine energies. Okay, so when you balance that drive with recovery, it's beautiful. Okay, but still, let's talk about drive, motivation as positive qualities. So you can have a lot of positivity like that, but there are other negative qualities of a high functioning anxiety person. For example, perfectionism. I see a lot of that. I have been working since I started being a holistic coach for the last 9 years. I chose to work with a lot of high achievers, perfectionists, and haha, they were a mirror of me. No wonder I love work with them so much, right? So there's a perfectionist quality there. There's this need to be in control everything. That is a huge trait of anxiety. You wanted to feel in control of everything, so you tend to maybe say too many yeses. You're like, I got this, because you have this perfectionism in you. So you might believe that you can get the job better, done better than the other person. I made some notes here, so I'm looking. What else? You always on guard. You always like watching what can go wrong next. That is the survival brain. That's the fight or flight brain. So instead of high function anxiety, keeps you on alert. Like I work with somebody, with an attorney a few years ago, and she admitted that she had this anxiety, and she also admitted that she did not want to let go of this anxiety because the anxiety gave her a sense of control in a way that she felt like she was always on guard, so things would not go wrong because she was always watching. So the thing about high function anxiety is that you have this kind of mental models that you believe serve you in a positive way. It can at times until it doesn't, and I'm going to talk about that. Okay, another trait is that you have hard time relaxing. Like the idea of relaxing is actually stressful, or the idea of taking time off is stressful. That was me, and I can still feel this at times. Even though I have the time now that I can take time off and go to take a trip or something, it gives me still a little anxiety. So when you feel a little stress and anxiety around taking time off to relax, Well, that's telling you something about that state, right? So you can't hide anymore. Again, I want to just create some awareness here for you so you can start addressing that, because anxiety is a high energy state, and that's another reason we like it, because who doesn't like to have a lot of energy? The problem is it's not a coherent energy. Think about this. Think about the energy that you might get from like drinking a couple cups of coffee, and you wire, you're ready to go, and you have hard time collecting your thoughts, you have hard time focusing on one thing, you have hard time uh, accessing your creativity, your intuition, right? So that's incoherent energy. It's just moving like this in your nervous system. That's not good. Even for, let's take an athlete, for example. If an athlete is ready to perform, to do a race, a competition, and he is over aroused, which is an incoherent type of energy in the brain and the body, the nervous system is incoherent. If there is over aroused, actually the athlete, by, even though he's prepared, he's fit, he trained well, that state of being over aroused might cost the athlete the win or the gold medal or if any medal at all, because it's incoherent. That will block the state of flow. So, for athlete, it's a combination of being aroused, of course, being rested, aroused, and also being able to get the body to into that state of flow, the body and the mind. So that's how the athlete is going to perform at the highest levels. Same thing for us who love high performance, right? That's who I work with, high performers. So to achieve, that's why there's such a high conversation in state of flow for high achievement, which is the sweet spot between relaxation, like being too relaxed, okay, and that state of over arousal. So the flow state is kind of right in the middle, is a coherent type of energy. It's what I call also an authentic energy, energy that you're going to get from deep sleep, from authentic rest, from practicing some belly breathing, from eating a proper diet, because food can affect anxiety, from hydrating your body really well and not abusing on the on caffeine and alcohol, right? Or even exercise sometimes can, aggravate your anxiety too. If your body's in a state of a lot of stress and you're pushing your exercise too hard, that's also going to contribute to the incoherent type of energy. So think of incoherent energy also as a state of like unmanaged energy. It's not managed. Like, if you go to the gym and you're like, I'm gonna get a great car, you're super aroused, you actually might get hurt because you're gonna move too fast, and you might tweak your shoulder, you might get injured. So it's kind of the same thing. So when you operate in that state of incoherent energy, anxiety, what happens is your body's producing a lot of cortisol and adrenaline, which are the hormones of stress. And you know this about hormones. Hormones, you want to hit the sweet spot. You don't want it too little and you don't want it too much. Hormones need to be in balance. If it's too little or too much, it will affect your well-being, it will affect your health. And hormones are like a family, can be functional or dysfunctional. If one hormone is dysfunctional, it's going to affect the other members of the family, right? The other hormones. So, and also instead of anxiety, you have a lot of muscle tension. So I've been speaking a lot about low back pain. I'm taking some new clients and helping them with low back pain. But anxiety creates muscle tension because if you're always on guard, watching what is going to be, what's going to get you next, you are in a state of tension. And it's great if you're about to work out, you're going to compete or something. But other than that, you want your muscles to be relaxed. And even if you're an athlete, you want, again, that combination of a relaxed muscle and a tense muscle, right? It's the balance. Again, the word balance keeps coming back, right? A relaxed muscle, and you want the muscle to contract, to have tension at the right time, right? That's the balance. So also, instead of anxiety, because your stress level is high and your stress response is turned on for too many hours, maybe almost like 24 hours, if you're not sleeping well, what happens with that, it starts to hurt, insult your brain. So your memory will suffer, your ability to be creative suffers, your ability to access your intuition. You know, a lot of decisions we make in life, it's half rational and half intuition. A lot of times, way more intuition than the rational mind. But you want to always use both the rational mind and your intuition. And if you're in a state of anxiety and stress, biologically, you cannot access your right brain that way. You cannot access your intuition. You won't be able to connect with your heart and listen to what your heart is saying. And you're going to feel a lower sense of fulfillment and well-being. You're going to be in that sense like you always need to be doing something. And at the same time, you might feel like, wow, I'm not spending any time in nature. I'm not connecting with loving ones. So a lot of times, by the time clients come to work with me, it's because they already experienced that low fulfillment, their low levels of joy, low levels of well-being, because they're already, aware that they are missing out life. They are missing out living. They're so busy in their doing, and then they start realizing they're missing a lot of the beauty of life. That's one of the gifts of this pandemic. It helped us to be more still and realize that things are more important to us, right? For me, it's like being in nature more, learn how to be and do less. So like I'm in my own rehab, I'm recovering from this high function anxiety, okay? So let me share with you 3 strategies here. Now, overall, the things that will help you to come out of this high anxiety state, high function anxiety, I should say, high function anxiety, not high anxiety, because people with high anxiety, they know, and they're going to seek, help from a psychiatrist. I'm talking about this high function that you have that you might not be aware that you even have anxiety. So the first thing, overall, guidelines here, awareness is super important. So if this blog resonated with you, explore more, even by having a conversation with me or somebody else, a therapist, a coach. But number one, awareness that you have these personality traits, and know that being a high functional anxiety person is just a personality trait. That's not who you are. I stuck with that. It's just a pattern in the brain, and we can totally let go of the pattern and create a new one. That's why clients work with me for a year to rewire the brain. That's where the training comes. That's what the mind training comes in, and the body training as well. Okay, so awareness, having some type of mindfulness practice, right? Meditation, yoga, walk in nature. And then you might need to work with a coach. Okay, learn how to reframe, how to break the patterns, because when we have this personality traits for a long time, that means it has become a pattern in the brain. So the same areas of the brain are firing. They wire and firing together. That's a law, right? Hab's law. So they firing, they wire together, they fire together, and they're automatic. So you might need somebody, a coach like myself or somebody else, to help you to interrupt that pattern and start firing and rewiring a different part of your brain, so you can find the sweet spot when your drive, your motivation, your discipline, your energy is coherent. So that's how you can perform at the highest levels. And the best part, you can sustain the performance, because energy that comes from anxiety is not sustained. It leads to burnout. It's kind of the same energy that people get from drinking Red Bulls, those energy drinks or Monsters, or a lot of caffeine. Is not sustainable, and it insults, hurts the adrenal glands, those little glands that are in charge for the stress hormones. Okay, so mindfulness practices, belly breathing, set your alarm to go off every hour, and take 2 minutes every hour, take 2 minutes and practice belly breathing. That turns off the stress response and calms down your nervous system and helps your energy, your brain, to go from incoherence to coherence, because also helps you to become present, helps if you can even connect with your heart at that moment, like become present by just, watch something, like just focus your attention on something and become present. That can help the energy to become coherent. And take a walk in the middle of the day, take a break, take a walk in nature with no phone. Just take a walk in nature and practice being present. How do you practice being present? You're walking, there's a tree. Wow, what a beautiful tree. Look at the leaves of the tree just coming. It's spraying, right? Wow, look at the roots of that tree. Go touch that tree. I have this tree in my neighborhood and I go every day and I hug that tree. Yeah. Walk in nature. That will help you to calm your nervous system down. And again, to create coherence with your energy. Okay. And last one, avoid, if you're in the state of anxiety, you're aware now, watch caffeine intake and alcohol intake and sugar intake. Okay, especially I would eliminate sugar, replace any sugary, food for dark chocolate, like 80% dark chocolate, organic dark chocolate. If you love your coffee, maybe replace your big cup of coffee for a little short espresso. There's less caffeine in that. And if you drink too much coffee, find a tea, herbal tea that you like, and replace. A lot of times, for me, it's the ritual having a warm mug, especially in winter, right? So I drink peppermint tea. So replace maybe coffee for some herbal teas. Drink a lot of water. So these are just some techniques that you can use to start calming your nervous system. Now, of course, again, this is not something I can put in a video. My entire system helping people how to come off of high functioning anxiety. So if this resonates with you and you want some help, retrain your brain, teach your body how to become coherent, create coherence between the brain and the heart. It's a big conversation these days to promote health and well-being and healing. If you want to learn more about how to take charge of your mind and your body, so this program is not running you, this anxiety is not running you, you running it, so it dissolves, it disappears. If you want to learn more about it, just send me a message. I have 2 programs going on right now. I have a 7-week spiritual fitness program that will help you with anxiety. If you are somebody that because of anxiety and stress, you experience a lot of low back pain, I'm taking 2 new clients one-on-one to help with low back pain for 12 weeks. So if either these programs resonate with you or neither one resonates and you need something designed just for you, just send me a message. That's where the one-on-one program, my year-long program comes in to work specifically with your needs to meet you where you are and help you out to manage this energy so you can perform at your highest levels and promote more joy, well-being, and fulfillment. Let's have some fun. Summer's coming up, so let's play more and have some fun. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you very soon. Mwah.